All right, I am going to go ahead and do some setup on my MacBook. So I have downloaded R, which I have not yet installed. So let's go ahead and do that. Guide you through, continue, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. I agree. Put in password and cool. That's doing that. Now, while that's doing that, let's also install RStudio. Good, that was good. Move to trash, don't need to keep the installer. Throw in RStudio, good. I think we've got that. Oh, yeah, that was easy. So if I go to RStudio, this is checking stuff and should work. Open. And you know what? It occurs to me. No, I think we're fine. Okay. All right. So we've got R, we've got RStudio. Now what I want to set up is Git, which I don't believe I have installed on this computer. Let's check. So Git. Actually, let's see. Do I have Git? I think I might. I'm going to go terminal. Which Git have I got? I do have Git. Good. All right. So let's go Tools, Global Options, Git. I'm going to create an SSH key. Actually, you know what? I'm going to skip this. I'm not going to do SSH. SSH has pros and cons. I have it set up on my other computer. This computer, I'm going to do the simpler thing, which, where did it go? Happy Git with R suggests using HTTPS and creating a personal token, personal access token. So for that to work, let me go ahead and sign into GitHub. Get that ready. OBS, this is just what I'm recording on. I had to install that on this computer to make this recording. I've mentioned this in class, but for video projects, this is a really useful way to record your screen. Cool, so back to here, do the TLDR. Might need to install some stuff, but we will see. So cancel, paste that. Need to install this. Install.packages. Use this. Let that go. What's our next step? It's going to be git creds. Git creds set. So go ahead and create this. That's going to go over here. Perfect. All right. So this is MacBook Air, April 2024. Expiration. What day is it? April 11th. This is good enough. This will get us through to the end of the semester. I'm going to leave all the other things at their default settings and generate token. Cool. So now I've got this token. I'm going to delete this later since I'm putting this video out on the open internet. But for now, I've got this thing that I've just copied. Now I'm going to go back to RStudio, and I'm going to need to enter this. So actually, let me go back to Safari. How do I get to the other window of Safari? There we go. All right. So get cred set, enter password or token. Okay, I just have to paste it here. Get cred set, yada, yada, yada. Paste that. Not found. Okay, let's try that again. Do this. Opening URL. Oh, you know what? I think there's a step I'm skipping because I'm not reading while I'm doing this. Get cred set. Generate token. So we definitely made the token. Look over the scopes. Yada, yada, yada. Recommend scopes will be pre-selected. Generate token. Copy to clipboard. Provide this next time a Git operation asks for your passwords. Get out ahead of this and store pat explicitly now. Call git cred set. case. Why is this? Oh, you know what? Uh-oh. You know what I did? I copied the thing. Oh, you know what? Okay, I've still got that there. Cool. I thought I'd lost this token. What I need to do is stop rerunning create a token. Now I just need to run git cred set. And I need to copy it without all this extra stuff. There we go. Git cred set. Run that. Where is our token? Can I just, oh, that's beautiful. Up arrows to get there. Didn't have to copy it. It is now set. Awesome. So let's see. What do we want to do? The simplest way to do this is really to set up something in advance. So you get some repository, you create it on GitHub, and then you use this code. We'll take HTTPS, we copy this, and then we can go into RStudio, and we say File, New Project, in a sec, eventually. We say New Project, and then it's going to say by version control, we'll click that. We'll say Git, we'll click that, and it'll ask for a URL, and then we'll paste in this URL. So version control, Git, here's our URL, tab over, and it auto-completes that name. Now here's an important thing I noticed on at least one student's computer this week, which is just dumping everything into one place. So on Mac and Linux, this little tilde, this means your home directory. In Windows, this would be like C:/users/your username/my docs or whatever. I don't want to put everything in the same place. I want to put stuff somewhere I'm not going to lose it. And I want to make sure I'm organizing each project separately from the others so that I'm not mixing up my code between coding challenges and final project and something you're working on for your 491 project, which want to keep things organized. Unlike what you might be used to, where you just dump everything into a place and then you search for it as you need it, here we need to think about how R is going to search for stuff. And the way it searches for stuff is it looks for stuff just in its immediate surroundings in the folder that it's in. So for me, I will go to Dropbox, and I will keep this in Teach, Spring 24, Eco 365, and this is just my repo. This is just a dummy repository. I don't think I've got this in here. So cool. So if I hit open and create project, it's going to pull all that code from GitHub and put it into here. And I'm going to allow this to save stuff on Dropbox. And then this way it's also syncing to Dropbox so I can access it on my other computers without any hassle. Although with Git, you could skip the Dropbox process and sync through GitHub. I could push this to GitHub and then go to my other computer, clone this again, and pull it from GitHub. So that's a simple way to get things into GitHub, is to create the repository there. Go up here, we'll go to plus, create new repository. And you do this stuff, and then you take that URL and you clone it onto your local computer. Now, if you've been working on a project and you've got all your code and you're happy with it, let's go ahead and install tidyverse as long as it's noticing that. You've got your project working, and then you want to move it onto Git, you should be able to just make a Git repository on your computer and then push it to the cloud, but sometimes it gets a little tricky, so sort of the lazy way around that is to do what I just did, create an empty repository on GitHub, sync that, and then just copy paste your code into that new folder. All right, so what have we done today? We've installed R and RStudio. We didn't have to install Git on a Mac, that's good. But we did set up a personal access token and synchronize that into RStudio so that we can handle things on Git. So for example, this is a comment, not super helpful, but if I go to Git, now I can see that I have this modified status for main.r. I click the box so that it is staged to go, and then I commit it. Now, I know this is a lot of jargon that's specific to Git. You can just Google this. It's not something you need to memorize. So let's just say add a comment and commit. Close. Good. Now let's go ahead and push. This is going to send it to GitHub. Whoops, where'd we go? So if we go back to here, to my repo, we'll see that that code now has add a comment as the comment to that commit, but we can see that the code itself now has this is a comment. On the point of Git, there is a helpful thing, the missing semester. This is way more in depth than we need for this class, but if you want to dig a little deeper over the summer, missing.csale.mit.edu, this kind of fills in some tools that people use in settings like this. So it's more in depth than we need. This is really aimed at computer science and programming students, but we as R coders can take some of what they use, some of their tools, and use them for our benefits. So for example, they got a lecture on Git that will go through this. This becomes really important if you're going to be using Git in a professional context to collaborate with others. For our class, we're really just using it as a cheap way to share our code in sort of a relatively nice format on GitHub. But that's available, right? So missing semester, really helpful resource if you want to dig deeper into that.